It's time to unbox. Samsung did a really good job in packing these accessories. We waited 5 days before the order arrived. It's a good thing it's all worth it. Just stay tuned for I will give you a full review for these accessories. I buy a new phone every 2 years minimum, and this is the first time I bought a lot of accessories. I'm wondering though, if I'm not vlogging at this time, will I still purchase this Buds Pro? Of course, I chose my favorite color. It includes ear tips, small, medium, large. It comes with a free USB cable, but no power adapter included. This is the power adapter we separately bought for the S21 Ultra phone. The S21 Ultra does not include a power adapter or a headset anymore. At first, it feels heavy and thicker than my Note 9, but eventually I got so used to it. Here we go. Who says yes to everything in the agreement just to go with it?
3, 2, 1.
Hi everyone, my name is Japs. I am misinformation.blog on Facebook, Instagram, and my website. I'm glad you're here again today. For this video, it's kind of different because I'm going to discuss about my Samsung S21 Ultra phone. So I'm not holding it right now because that phone is the one I'm using in shooting this video. But for this review, I'm going to discuss with you the pros and cons of the phone. So this is kind of technical, so bear with me. I am not a techie person, but in terms of using a Samsung phone, me and my husband are kind of an expert. And so I hope I can also help you in deciding if you need the S21 Ultra phone. 1 month ago, while shooting a video for my vlog, I noticed that it's so hard to zoom my Note 9's camera to show the makeups I have. And that caused me to subtly ask my husband if it's okay to buy a new phone. And he was so sure that we don't need one because we can't get out of the house. And my husband strictly told me that we don't need a new phone since we can't get out of the house. I also agree with that, but with the kind of lifestyle I have right now, I really need a good camera. But I don't have any idea of what the new features are for the new cell phones we have at the moment. I know this S21. I asked my husband to buy that last year. I'm not really serious whenever I ask my husband to buy a new phone. But this one time that my husband said, okay, let's get you a new one. Maybe we could just check the phone. And we watched a lot of vlogs, read a lot of blogs, and one of the things that made us hesitate is that this phone doesn't have an adapter. As funny as it may sound, we thought it's gonna be a big deal, but apparently it's not. It's so easy to order one from Samsung, and it's not that expensive. To buy that adapter might be a big deal at first, but eventually, once you start charging your phone and noticing how long its battery life is and how fast it charges, you'll appreciate that it's okay that they did not provide us with an adapter. It's okay. Just a quick story. I received the phone first, and so the first few days of my life with the Samsung S21 Ultra, It's quite difficult because we don't have an adapter. It's a good thing that we have a wireless charger, and that is what we're using every day. It charges for like 12 to 15 hours before it's fully charged, and my phone has to be turned off whenever we charge it. It's the fastest charging time already. And I was really frustrated. I was like, oh my gosh, did I just buy this phone to experience a slow charging moment? As soon as the power adapter arrived, we immediately charged it, and I'm surprised that charging time is around 45 minutes to 1 hour as long as the phone is off. But once it's on, it's around 2 hours to 3 hours depending on your usage. Another thing that made us hesitate to buy this phone is it does not include a 3.5 mm adapter. And because of that, of course, the headsets we have collected for the past years cannot be used anymore. As you can see, I have a Buds Pro here on my ears. I've been using it since last week, and I'm the last person that will say yes to a Buds Pro simply because I don't see the need to buy it. But because it doesn't have a jack, I have to reconsider buying it. And the first in line is the cheapest, of course, because I really don't care. I just need a headset. Or just buy a jack and use the old headsets we have. We checked again some blogs, and we learned about this Buds Pro, and I just have to say it's a lifesaver. Before I continue with my review about S21 Ultra, let me share with you my review about the Buds Pro. I've been using it for like a month now. What made me buy the Buds Pro? So, like what I said earlier, my option is the cheapest buds. But I eventually chose this Buds Pro because I intend to use it as a microphone as well. I'm the one who edits my vlog. It's hard to edit the video with a wired headset. Sometimes I'm lying down and I bring my phone everywhere, and to have a wired headset with me is quite a struggle for me as well. There are also times that I forgot I have a headset on and I just stand up, and my wired headset that's connected to the phone will definitely fall once I stand up. And so I would consider using this wireless headset. And I'm just so glad that we have good bloggers and vloggers out there who shared the best things about Buds Pro. And I just have to agree with them as well. Okay, so one of the things that made me say yes to it is the two-way speaker. So aside from the phone speaker, it also has its own speaker. And it helped me in vlogging, like I'm using it right now, and in recording, and in listening to a lot of stuff, editing as well. It also has a mic, a main mic, sub mic, and inner mic. I'm just using a cheap mic. I notice a big difference. I have an aircon here in the room, and I tend to have a noisy background most of the time. But having this Buds Pro with me is a huge help because noise is cancelled. I'm not talking about just noise cancellation whenever you're listening to something, but it's also more like canceling the noise while you're recording something. So it's just awesome. It's like having a lapel with you already. That's also a wireless headset. So it's definitely cool. Its battery life is very long. My longest usage was around 2 days, and the fastest was around 12 to 15 hours. And that includes recording and listening. It does not drain fast when you're just recording. It actually drains faster when you're listening, especially when you have to turn on both noise cancellation, block touches, and the ambient sound option. It has a container that I really love. It's lightweight, it's cute, And you just have to be very careful. I know that the Buds Pro is actually waterproof. You can check out my recent vlog. I had to test a makeup and I wet my face, and it so happened that Buds Pro was on my ear that time, and though it got wet, it did not get broken, and it's still okay at the moment. The problem here is that this one is not waterproof. Just be careful because you might think that the Buds Pro is waterproof, so it's okay to wet this. No. Another possible problem is that when this gets broken, where will you charge your Buds Pro? And at the same time, you can just keep a regular headset everywhere. But this is very, very important, more than anything else, because this is like the life source of your Buds Pro. You can charge your Buds Pro inside for like 3 to 4 times. Once this is drained, you can charge this for like 1 to 2 hours, depending on how drained it is, or depending on how drained the Buds Pro are, because there are 3 batteries you have to consider: the left, the right, and this one. If the Buds Pro are also drained, it's also gonna eat more time in charging your case. Next, so it has a sensor, so you can just touch your Buds Pro and it can go to Spotify, change music, turn on ambient sound, cancel noise, and so much more. But after studying the Buds Pro a lot of times, I decided to deactivate it. The Buds Pro is very sensitive, and every time you touch it, it immediately does something. And so I'd rather deactivate the sensor options instead of having a hard time in using my Buds Pro. One of the craziest part of the Buds Pro, it's very, very sensitive to touch. And so even though you don't really intend to touch it, it immediately does something. Also, it's not that hard to learn about Buds Pro. When you're a first-time user, there's a chance that you might have a hard time. Like, I had a hard time wearing it because I don't really know how to put it on my ears. So what I learned is that this speaker, this one, should be under your ears when you put it in, and this tip should be in your ears. It should have a snuggle fit when you put it in, and you'll hear a sound that is a hint that your Buds Pro is now connected to your phone. Also, I like that whenever I have the Buds Pro with me, I don't hear anything. Like, I tend to ask, is the aircon on? Because I don't hear it. I tend to not hear any noise, and because I'm very, very sensitive to noise, it's so great to have it on. And whenever Buds Pro hear my voice, it tends to turn on ambient sound, and even though I'm just singing, it tends to stop the music and turn the ambient sound. And the crazy thing about the ambient sound is that it's very, very clear. It's not the ideal sound to listen to when your kids are around, when a nagger is around. And imagine you're just listening and enjoying a good music, and then you just happen to talk or sing along. It immediately goes to ambient sound and makes you hear everything within your reach. And I just have to deactivate that setting. I did not allow Buds Pro to do that. And so even though it's a good setting, the control touch, it's very convenient to use, and also the setting wherein you can just talk and it immediately goes to ambient sound, I just have to cancel it because I love singing along with the song and I love to talk while editing. I'd rather do the control manually than to be surprised what's about to happen next. Overall, Buds Pro is very important for me. I did not expect that I'm gonna be a fan immediately, from its sound to its speaker capabilities and its mic capabilities. Is just awesome. Also, I like that when you say ambient sound, you will hear everything, even the paper. You'll hear the sound of the wind. It's true. Active noise canceling, you can't hear the noise, and at the same time when you record something, it's gonna cancel the noise as well. Equalizer, I love that when I watch a movie now on my phone. It feels like you have a surround sound experience. And you can also have like a 360 degrees experience wherein when you turn your head left or right, the sound is gonna be different depending on where your head is. It feels like the sound is with you wherever you go. I just don't like that feature though when I'm recording something or when I'm listening to something. I just want that option when I'm watching a movie. So if I'm gonna rate the Buds Pro, it's gonna be 10 over 10. Overall, I don't have anything bad to say about it. Charging time, battery life, its quality, its color, it's so nice, right? You can see it on my ear most of the time. Other users say that it's hard to wear this because it's quite huge and at the same time it's inconvenient to put in the ears, but I did not experience that. What I actually experienced is that I have a mild headache, a bit of itchy ears, and probably lightheadedness. If the Buds Pro is in my ears for more than 5 hours at least, I feel dizzy more than ever, and because I feel lightheaded and more tired whenever I have the Buds Pro in my ears, I tend to think twice before I use it. It's like, do I really need it? Do I really have to use it? For my ears and head to rest, I don't use the Buds Pro 100% of the time. It's more like when I just really, really have to, like today. So that's one accessory of the S21 Ultra. This is the best phone I've ever used. It's faster, camera is really, really good. It has a director's view where you can actually choose a lot of settings and a lot of angles depending on what you need. You can also use 2 angles wherein the front camera and back camera can be used simultaneously. And the quality is really good. I was able to save a high quality video, and despite me complaining a bit in my head that all my pores and my pimples are seen using this camera, I'm okay because you guys can see me better now, and I think I can deliver better videos moving forward because of this phone.
Ow!
It doesn't have an SD card slot, and I thought it's a big problem. But now that I've been using it for like a month, I don't think it is because I don't really use that much memory on my phone. I hate syncing apps, transferring files, and copying the settings from my old phone. So this smart switch creator is such a genius. Using this phone and transferring the files and apps I have from my old phone to this new phone is so easy right now because there's now a smart switch wherein you can transfer your files, your settings, your apps from old phone to your new phone, and it made everything so easy. But the bad part is, if you did not pay that app, it won't sync all your files unless you pay. So I have to pay 3 apps just so I can sync my files from that old phone to my new phone. But it's okay, it's worth it anyway. I also like that they had a lot of new features in their phone, like photos can be edited and go back to its original form ASAP. And there are a lot of new features in the gallery. At the same time, for example, when you edit a photo and you happen to like it, you can just keep it. And then when you happen to want to go back to that original photo, you can just revert and go back to it as if nothing happened. So it's really that cool. There's also an option to save your photos in a different format. And though it's nice because it's better in quality but smaller in size, The problem is that other apps cannot read that format, so you can just save it in JPEG or PNG whenever you have to use it in that particular app. Good news is that Facebook and Instagram can read that format. I think it's HEIC. The camera's quality is really good, no question about that. Fingerprint sensor is not that perfect, around 80% probably. And the speaker's phone works really, really well. If there's one or two things that I miss from my Galaxy Note 9 comparing to this S21 Ultra phone, is that it doesn't have my eye sensor setting. The only thing it has is the finger. Also, it cannot check on your heart rate anymore, so it's a downside as well. It doesn't have a pen, but your Note pen is actually compatible to your S21 Ultra phone. Sound options are better. The HD quality of the screen is better. There's a new AR app in this phone as well. The color I got is not the one that I really like, but it's fine as well. I guess the greatest strength of this phone is its camera. Another accessory I bought is this S21 Ultra LED view cover. So this one. I take good care of my phones. They usually last a minimum of 2 years. And I can just pass it on to my husband, and my husband can use it for the next 2 years, and then he will break it. But really, I tend to use a cover that's like this. It should cover the front and the back of my phone. It should be leather-like. I don't like a cover that can just cover the back part. And I'm just so amazed by this accessory because it's a smart cover. While editing a long video last Friday, it's funny because I slept with peace knowing that when I wake up, that 1 hour video is gonna be done and processed. But when I woke up, the editing app did not proceed at all. And I remember I set my cover to make the apps sleep whenever I cover it. It's my fault, but the good thing about it is that I encountered like 3 to 4 errors while saving that long video. But when I covered my phone and probably it had a reset or it was able to sleep, it saved my video faster than ever despite its high quality, and I was able to get the edited video in a matter of 30 minutes. So it's quite amazing that it has that ability. It's so cute because this cover can actually show you a lot of icons that can symbol a lot of things, like maybe time, money, heart for your husband or your loved ones. When that notification appears on your phones, there's a specific symbol and you can customize that. It can definitely protect your phone, and it's not the type that can easily bend when you use it or when you break it or drop it. It has a one-touch control. Like for example, someone calls, you can just answer it from here even though your phone is covered. You can change a lot of settings from the phone. Of course, it easily protects your camera as well. I had to remove my phone from this cover like 7 times already, and it still looks good, as if it's new. The tiny detail that I like about my phone right now, the S21 Ultra, is that I like the mini LED colors you will see whenever there's a notification. Like a keyword from my husband could be a heart, then red LED all over my phone, or my friend Ash who will send me a message saying ate. Most of the time it will have a color pink all over my phone, and then probably, let's say, square or a different emoji. It has that kind of option. In camera settings, there are a lot, but not as useful as the director's view. Whenever I do a selfie, I don't usually use the full screen. It's mostly the high quality when I want to be true and real and show you my pimples, my pores and everything. But whenever I wear makeup and I have to look good because it has to be in a blog or a vlog, I usually use a full setting photo. When I was editing a video in the Notes 9, whenever it reaches the 45th minute, it tends to be slow, and there are times that it tends to have a delay already. But this phone so far has the fastest processor, and it has an option to make my phone's lighting a bit warmer. And though I don't like it that much because it automatically does that, I have no choice but to get used to it and like it as well. So if you're thinking, is this phone perfect for you? Yeah, if you have a lot of money, go ahead and buy it. But I guess one of its strengths is really the camera. Second is the battery life. Its battery life could be up to 15 to 18 hours. I was able to experience that. And it's so fast to charge it as well. So it's good if you also consider long life battery. Processor, if you want a fast cell phone, you also need this. HD quality in terms of speakers and your eyesight. I was able to see better with this phone. And also, if you're on the go, this is also a water and dust resistant phone. Though it's not advisable, but I see people who are doing that as well. Design is just the same. Overall, if you're the type of person who needs these features and want this kind of phone, go ahead, it's worth buying. And though it's kind of expensive, its battery cannot be removed. It doesn't have an SD card slot. It doesn't have a power adapter. You cannot use your old headset. You won't have a heart rate monitor here anymore or the eye sensor. At the end of the day, I guess the plus or the pros are more than the cons. So you just have to really consider what your priorities are. If you happen to be at home and you don't need a good camera or the features I mentioned, then I guess it's okay to wait for a few years more or maybe a few months more. Maybe there's a new one very, very soon. But overall, this phone exceeded my expectation. Accessories included. And I have to say that even though this purchase is unexpected and unplanned, I'm just so happy and grateful that my husband said yes to this request, because everything is way easier now because of this phone and my Buds Pro. For me, it's not a luxury, but more like a necessity. Since I'm always on the go, I do everything online. Homeschool, writing, blogging, vlogging, everything on my phone. I really need a good processor. And despite the comments about this phone's processor, I must say I really felt the difference now. It is great. So go ahead and buy it. What are you waiting for? But seriously, despite how good this phone is, if you can't afford it yet, don't sell your soul just to buy something like this. You just have to save up for it, because time will come that it will be replaced with another flagship phone. I know I'm not a techie person, but I'm just so glad that you trusted me and clicked on this video. This is quite unusual for me to do, but I hope you learned something about S21 Ultra. Maybe I can do more techie stuff next time. What can you say about the S21 Ultra phone? Do you want to buy one as well? What is your reason for buying one? Do you also want to have your own Samsung Buds Pro? If you want to, what is your reason for buying it? What color do you want to choose? Let's talk in the comment section, alright? Again, my name is Japs. Thank you for spending time with me today. Have a great day. God bless you.
Want to join our monthly giveaways? Just comment and subscribe.
Yes, please!
Connect with me on Facebook, DM me on Instagram, or learn more about me on my blog, misinformation.blog. See ya!